Yo, I'm not kidding around when I tell you about this food shortage. So we need to find a place where we gonna grow this food. See, this is a little bed right here. It's a lot of like unnecessary things. You know, like, I don't know, like some things you can, yeah, we got some hot, oh, that's a little lizard right there. We got some hot cayenne. Got some hot cayenne right there. Yeah. But yeah, we gotta get serious, man. It's getting crazy in this country. It's not the same place anymore. Yeah. So what would you guys do if it was a food shortage? What would you do? I don't think anybody has a real, understanding or plan as to how serious of a matter that would be. Like I said, one of the options is to, get your own, little land strip or whatever and try to, start growing some food. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't get like a large portion or a land strip, then you should find a place that is, close to home. If it's not your front yard, your backyard, find a place, and if anything, find a place, if you don't have that, find somebody that has access to that. And if you got to pay them, you know what I'm saying? Because it's serious. This country, man, they're not worried about you guys. They're not trying to take care of nobody, or any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to look out for yourself. This is a country of individualism. Everybody is in the game for themselves and only themselves. So when people talk about united we stand and divided we fall, no, it's just divided we fall. And some of you guys are too young to understand the things that I bring to the table, the things that I talk about, because you may be wallowing in satisfaction of the everyday life and excitement and things like that. And I understand where you're coming from, because that's exactly where I was at one point in time. But as you get older, you become an actual man, you become an actual woman, you start to see things a little bit more clear, right? And at this point in time, you may want to speed up that acceleration pedal, because these are one of the things that can happen really fast and in an instant. You know what I'm saying? So what would you do? What would you do on a food shortage? Because it's one thing to be able to prepare for something like that. There's a whole nother thing if it just happens. Could you imagine having to go after somebody because they got a can of food? Could you imagine that? So yeah, do that, man. Like, find you a piece of area where you can plant something. Like I said, I'm starting out with okra, because I really resonate with okra. Okra is something I've been eating since I was a young kid. My grandmother used to prepare that, in different dishes. So I am understanding of that specific plant. I understand that it also can be used in multiple ways outside of consumption. You can use it as a healing agent on the interior and exterior of the body, because it provides a substance called aloe, and as you guys know, something called aloe vera, that is the same exact substance that is connected to okra. So I decided that I wanted to go ahead and grow that plant, right? I'm not going to be able to get probably the most fruitful size of a pod and things like that, because I don't believe I have the necessary area at the time. But we'll figure it out, man. We'll figure it out. We'll find a way to make it work, because one thing I understand is that, my family is not going to be without. When these type of things happen, we will be prepared, And for some of you that just can't find a way to grow, the best thing you could do is Stack up on some canned goods if you can. I mean, canned goods it may be sitting on the shelves right now, but people just walk right by them. You know, I don't know how many times you go in the grocery store and you just walk right by canned goods. You don't care. You go right to the shit that, you know, that's just gonna expire, gonna get bad, and, you know, it's just not really as useful as other things, you know. So I want you guys to think about that, man. You know, we'll be talking a little bit more about it. Until next time, St. Nicholas Brand. Peace.